Today we have on Phil Newton. I'm your host, Sweeney, of course, and he recently did what he likes to call budget case study for us. Now, he's been around in the business for quite some time, which I'm going to allow him to tell you about, and of course his Facebook budgets reach high amounts. But he also likes to break it down and show on a micro level more budget case studies and how anyone can do it, how you can do it, and how other people can do it. Not everyone can go out tomorrow and spend, $10,000 on Facebook ads, but he shows us a funnel with, just a few dollars a day in a budget that produced a lot of success for him. And he even broke down the stats, some of the different targeting he was doing, and showed us his funnel. So we're going to dive a bit deeper into that today. So first, Phil, let us know, how did you first kind of get started in the internet marketing industry?
Thank you very much for the introduction. How did I get started? I'm an accidental marketer. My sub-story background is 2000, 2001. I became very, very ill. I had Crohn's disease, and at the time I was going to be housebound, and I didn't know if it was going to be for the rest of my life or for a short period. But I needed to work, I needed to put food, needed to pay bills. So I basically had to make money from the internet. That's really what it came down to. My first passion at the time was financial trading, which is pretty much the niche that, the market I tend to bounce around in. But I had to make money, so I basically maxed out my credit cards and gave it just one. Well, sod it. Let's just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? I'll lose some money. I'd been kind of wanting to do it anyway. It just encouraged me to go out and do it. So because of that, I was, had some modicum of success quite quickly because I had to make it work. I wasn't going to take no for an answer, basically. So people started asking me, how do we do it, how do we do it? So I wanted to try and centralize a place where I could coach and train people. And it was like, all right, well, how do we build a website? So I had to learn HTML, and then how do we do this feature, and how do we do this? And all right, I need to collect people's contact details so that we learn how to do autoresponders and send emails out. And it's just, as soon as I came across one problem, one issue, it's like, how do we do this? Okay, now I've got to go and find it. And I didn't know that anyone else was doing this, because it was all, back in 2001, 2002, we were kind of setting our own standards, as it were. Technology was new, it was constantly evolving, and it was just, I had to learn it as I was going along. And then really in about 2007, it was like, started looking around at what other people were doing, and then I realized, well, actually there's a community of internet marketers. I didn't know about all these people. I was just literally engrossed in my own business and doing my own thing and trying to get the best and just keep on top of what technology is available to help me in my business. So I'm an accidental marketer, and it turned out I was pretty good at that as well. That's really what it comes down to.
So how did you get started with Facebook, or Facebook advertising in particular?
Facebook advertising. Well, it started off by accident. I mean, someone said, "Have you got a fan page?" And I thought, "Well, what's a fan page?" So I always try and keep a childlike mindset for my own personal development. If I don't know about something, and I think it might be interesting, I'll go away and try and learn about it and try and find out about it. So someone said, "Have you got a fan page?" And what's these fan pages things? So it was like, I've got to log on to Facebook, and for my own personal use, I never used it. I actually very much dislike Facebook for personal use. But from a business point of view, it turned out that it was actually quite interesting. So it started off with a fan page. All right, get a fan page for the business, build up a client base, and it's other exposure. And then you get to know about the advertising platform as you explore the options that are available. And it's the same thing, to be fair, with Twitter. If you've got a Twitter account, build a following. How do we explore it? How do we build up as a viable traffic source to deliver potential clients to the products that you've got available. So it really just was a case of, all right, well, what's this platform offer me? And explore it. All right, well, here's the adverts. How do we use the adverts? So now I've got to learn paid media in the context of Facebook, and how do I take what I've learned with Google and MSN and media buyers and bring that to Facebook. And it turned out that it was just an overwhelming experience, because the level of targeting that you can do was just nowhere close to Facebook. Sorry, it was nowhere close to Google, and the cost is dramatically cheaper as well compared to the type of targeting that you can do. I mean, in the financial trading, if I take the same campaign and take it even to Google, and it's going from literally pennies per click, as you've seen, all the way through to dollars, 15, 20, 30, $40 per click, and I'd be happy to pay that because I was happily paying that. But at the same time, you can get the same traffic and probably as good traffic, for literally pennies. It's just so cost effective at the moment. It just begs belief how no one can not make money with it, really.
Now, with the Forex market, is there any, I imagine Google's a bit more strict than Facebook. Is there any, problems you've run into there running ads on Facebook?
Not really. See, I'm running a business. I'm a real person. It's not just some random landing page. There is a business behind it, and I suppose that does go in my favor. But always what I have in my mind is like be Google compliant, because there was that phase where you get ads blocked and banned, and trying to get things authorized was quite difficult sometimes. But I think if you just have, all right, this is a real business mindset, then you're not going to get ads disapproved. They've got to provide. They've got a platform to be able to provide for their clients. Advertising on that platform is a privilege, really. So if you don't take the piss out of them, they're going to give you what you want. If you're giving them what they want. So it's, in Facebook terms, it's social. Give them something that's potentially shareable. Valuable content. From a direct sales point of view, it's just provide them. Don't do the blind offers. I personally hate all that stuff. I hate not knowing what I'm buying. Mm-hmm. I like to know what I'm getting. Just tell people what it is, and if they're interested, then they'll happily give you their email or buy the product, or whatever you're asking, the action that you're asking them to take in the first place is. I think having that attitude of the things that I hate about marketing, and I hate being sold to. It's like, this is what I'm doing. If you want it, buy it. If you don't, go away, and I won't bother you again. That really is a really soft sell attitude to have, but it's done me a lot of favors over the years.
It's interesting you say that too, as far as
that's probably my best piece of marketing advice. Don't take the piss out of people.
Yeah. Well, Frank Kern used to always say, like, here it is, here's what you get, and here's how much it'll cost. Here's what I want you to do next. That's kind of, copywriting boiled down. And it's interesting, though, you say be Google compliant, because now with Facebook introducing custom audiences and the backlash that has happened a little bit, and website custom audiences coming along, retargeting networks tend to have a lot stricter restrictions. And Facebook's probably going to start implying some of these, and we've seen some of these changes. People have mentioned, video sales letters and other landing pages not working as well as they used to. So it's interesting to see that Facebook might as well be moving in that direction. And someone like yourself, who, as you say, have a real business, and you're a step ahead. You're ready for that. Whereas some of these other marketers might be moving to catch up. So
you don't necessarily have to have, I suppose, an established business behind you. I suppose whatever you are doing, treat it as if it's a real business. So if you are doing affiliate marketing, treat it seriously. Don't treat it like, what's the latest trick to be able to get someone to buy or opt in, or whatever the action is. If you can just be genuine with them, say, hey, if you want this offer, if you want this download, or if you want this special discounted price, or can I have your contact information because of, just give them a really good reason to do something, and they will do it. And that's really what is going to give you the high conversions. Have that connection between the offer that you're presenting to someone, whether you've got your own product or it's an affiliate offer, and you're just bridging between a landing page between someone else's offer. Just give them a really good reason to give you their contact details. And if you match the audience up with that, which again, traffic is in abundance pretty much anywhere, but just marry those two things together, and you will get crazy opt-in rates with really crappy landing pages. I mean, the landing page that I'm using, it's pretty much off the shelf. I've not done any optimization with it whatsoever, and it just gets ridiculous opt-in rates. But just because I'm giving them something that they want that's really high value, and I know the audience really well. I've been specialised in this for years, and they will give you the contact details. And then they'll be waiting ready with the checkbook out on the next page, because they know that they're probably going to buy whatever's there, because you're giving them what they want. And that, I suppose you could say that with any business. find out what they want and give it to them. And again, it all kind of ties in together.
It sounds simple, but sometimes people really overcomplicate things. And
Yeah.
it's a reality with Facebook targeting being so narrowed down and so focused that you can find out what people want, and you know what these people are and these demographics of people, and you can really target in and give them what they want.
Well, I suppose another way of looking at it, we were chatting about this just off air, is look at viral articles, viral contents. I mean, everyone's got the share buttons on the sides or underneath of whatever article. Just go look at the hottest shared articles. There's sites that tell you what the hottest article is. If you're in a particular market or you're thinking about going into a market, just see what the latest, most shared article on the internet is. And then surely you could just put a bridge between, what I mean by a bridge is just a landing page. If it's like the 7 greatest foods that you should include in your diet to keep yourself healthy, it's I suppose weight loss dressed up and trussed up to make it look like something else. But you can have those types of offers, and it's an article at the end of the day. Someone else has written it. It's viral. It's clearly what people want to read. Why don't you just promote that article that's on someone else's website and build your email list off that article? Not necessarily an offer. People want to read this stuff, so they will give you their information, and the article's written for you. All the reasons why you should read it are in the first paragraph. So there's the landing page pretty much done for you, and just put it in the formats, headline. These are the reasons of the article, opt-in box, boom. You don't even need a product or content or articles. It's all done for you. So I would say that's probably one of the better ways to kind of explore a market, maybe explore a new area that you know nothing about. Because a lot of these days, it's all done for you. You don't have to write anything, and 9 times out of 10 before you actually try a market or particular niches, the Americans like to say that, you can explore it, you can try it out. Try before you buy, as it were. I suppose that's one of the things with data reach. You can kind of, what I call the shotgun approach, just put an offer out there and then kind of see what data you collect.
And then you can find out from there.
And then you've got your data, you've got an audience, you know that you can promote to. You find the common points, and it might be that 60% of them have a cat. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I think that's a very brilliant tip, because a lot of people are always wondering, what can I use for a free report? What can I use for a lead magnet? What can I use as a tripwire? And it's find what is already popular. Find a way you can kind of repurpose it a little bit, or change the title. Maybe it was 7 foods, maybe now you make it 10 foods, or maybe you make it
combine 2 or 3 articles and related together. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's how I started doing and testing just other markets. Now I'm moving out of my own speciality. That's really how I'm testing things out. I haven't got time really to build out a 1,000-page blog just on the off chance that someone might read some PLR article. Who's got time for that these days? And it's low quality, and we already know that no one really is interested in PLR low quality content, especially Google.
So with the let's jump back into this kind of case study that we had put up. Do you want to do a screen share for us, and we'll see how?
Yeah, let me just.
I know you had some things lined up.
What do you want? The first set of slides that I offered you. Boom, there we go, that should be done. Just let me know when that's coming through your side.
Yep. Alright, seems like we have it, yep, we have it loaded up.
Okay, so what do you want to pick my brains over? I think it's the first question.
So one of the main things, we have a few different custom audiences. So for people looking on, let me click on this so it'll show. So for people looking on with this, and if you can't see it too clearly, don't worry, we'll share those images with you. But basically we have a few different ads that he's set up here, and it's also pretty interesting because I remember you said that right there, that second one is the actual Facebook feed. So first I want to focus on, I know you're using a few different custom audiences here. So what are the custom, can you tell us a little bit more about what the
custom audiences, there's 4 custom audiences and 2 ads in those custom audiences. So I was just wanting to test 2 very different images basically to try and attract clicks. So the audiences are basically broken up from basically 4 different areas of people who have slightly different interests within the actual market. So the purpose of the case study really was to say, okay, well, I've got these 4 areas where people are interested generically in financial trading, but are they interested in specific sub-niches of that particular market? So that's what I was testing. So we basically have, again, 4 different areas, again, still very broad areas within the financial trading market. So I wanted to find out pretty much where the audience was. Now, the obvious one here is I'm actually offering a newsletter. I don't know if you can see here, but it's essentially a Signal newsletter for this offer. But at the bottom here, the lowest performing area was people who've already said, yes, I'm interested in Signal. So this was a little bit of an eye-opener for me, because the most obvious interest, if you like, and these are people who have built a fan page up around signals, so I'm kind of just retargeting the people who've interacted with a fan page already to kind of test the logic out, and that's how come it's a very focused custom audience. But then asking them again to opt into an email to say, okay, do you want a newsletter about what you've liked on a page? And most of them weren't that interested. So the first thing that kind of sprung to mind from this test was that the most common, closest point of reference to the custom audience, to the product, wasn't actually the thing that was getting my opt-ins. So I suppose the lesson here is try and think about not just the most obvious connection between the product and what you're trying to, who you're trying to promote to, but maybe think broadly, you know, 2nd tier, 3rd tier, 4th tier interests might be probably indirectly more relevant to the product, even though they're further away in connection. I'm not sure I've explained that too well. If you think about it like a spider web, instead of on a 1st tier connection, it may be a 3rd or 4th tier connection, but it might be more relevant to promote to those people. So anyway, the custom audiences, they were essentially just trying to find out which of what I consider the 4 broad subsections of the market, and that's really what I'm trying to establish. And then within those 4 subsections, I can then further niche it down, for want of a better description. And I'll cut that.
And how did you use a scraper to get those custom audiences? Did you have?
Yeah, I've got groups. I've got multiple groups, multiple fan pages, multiple email lists. So I've tested my own email list. I've tested my own groups. I've tested my own fan pages that I've spent many years building. Basically, I suppose in the past what we would have done is gone to other people's fan pages, other people's groups, and now Facebook's basically telling us that, you know, we don't really want you to do that anymore. You know, we know you were doing it, but if you get caught doing it, we're going to slap you for it. So I wanted to test this out, the same principle that, you know, most of us are taking for granted, but do it on my own assets to see if I basically had my targeting right originally. That's really what I was trying to find out with this test.
And now also with the Facebook feed, so you talk about posting in the Facebook feed, and I just want to ask a little bit more about that. You know, is it?
Yeah, this was for me. This was I'm just trying to highlight. There we go. There's the red one. So this line here, the second line down. What I also thought I'd do is the main driving force behind the business was, you know, one fan page. And it's got a very large audience that has spent a lot of time, and again, for many years it was actually building it naturally. It was just, you know, not paying for likes, as it were. So there's quite a large audience that you know, I got a lot of following just because I was doing a really good job with delivering content. So what I thought I would do is test out the paid adverts and then compare that just to continuing to provide good content. So I set up a separate tracking link so that I could say, okay, well, from these pieces of content, that basically between 1 and 7 pieces of content, and just scheduling them out, spending 10 minutes in the morning, saying, okay, this is going to go out at 10 o'clock, this is going to go at 11, this is going to go at 12, and just over the next 5-6 hours, just providing essentially an image with a link in, and that's really all it is, but it's relevant to the market. So a paid advert in the newsfeed that's basically static. It's very general, effectively. Here's an offer. If you want it, click it here. Whereas we've got something very relevant to that moment, because it's almost like the financial trading. It's almost like current affairs. Whatever you do today, it's disposable. It's not relevant tomorrow. So it's providing very relevant content today, almost like a newsfeed. And that's what was basically going in in the fan page feed. So it was kind of natural traffic versus paid traffic, and that natural traffic was between 1 and 7 pieces of content on a day. And what we can see here, I don't know if you can see this, the stats.
Mm-hmm.
What we have is very comparable results with paid media. So we've got, again, still the early stages of the campaign. It's only a few days old, but we're starting to get into the realm of 50, 80, 100 clicks to the various campaigns and custom audiences. But the top two there, they're both around about 100 clicks, give or take a few either side. But we can see we're seeing around about 30% opt-in rates between paid traffic and just providing value to your existing audience. And I think that was a big eye-opener for me, because I always thought it was a little bit of a waste of time, if you like, just posting content, day by day by day. And it is time-consuming. It can be time-consuming. And the next stage of this test is to basically promote one piece of content to the existing fan base. So that would be the next kind of progression. So to see if I can reduce the time involved in posting, and it's still only 10-15 minutes a day, but just so you can get one piece of content and see if I can see comparable results again, which is one piece of content, but then using that as a paid advert just for one day, and to see if we can get similar opt-in rates.
So for that Facebook fan posting, you weren't boosting the post or?
No, not at all. It's completely natural. So all the others are basically paid traffic, but this one with the big red line, this was just post an image, post a link in, see what happens, and then it was just literally posting between 1 and 7 times a day, so 10 o'clock an image, 11 o'clock an image, 12 o'clock an image, and there was no boosting of posts. So the next stage, I suppose, would be to boost it, but I only want to post it to fans only, so it's basically promote a fan page, but fans only is the next stage of what I'd personally like to be testing, again, just to see if we can get comparable results. So conclusions so far from this is for those people, again, as you know, I like to do these budget tests.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make it work with $2 or $3. You can't make it work with $200 or $300 or $2,000 or $3,000. It doesn't make any difference. So then, for those people who are perhaps a little bit more looking after the pennies for these types of things, it probably would be a more cost-effective route to build a fan page and just provide probably about 3 to 4 pieces of content per day, and you can still build a comparable email list with 20 to 30 minutes of your time per day, as opposed to a few dollars, which might be not reasonable for most people to spend when they're learning their trade. So the trade-off is time versus money, and between $1 a day versus 15 minutes of your day, that's really what it worked out to be on this particular budget test.
And now, can you go to that next slide?
Yeah, next one. The Facebook. So this is the same stats, but from Facebook's point of view.
And I found, what I found interesting, because you have at the bottom there your mixed targeting.
Yeah, basically this was off the previous. So at the bottom here, this was based off the previous ad manager. So I had several adverts in a campaign. Now we can split it off with the top tier, middle tier, and lower tier campaigns because of the new way that Facebook's tiering their advertising structure. So that's what basically was in here. And what I used to do effectively was just have a lot of different adverts in there and rotate through them. So to try and prevent the ad blindness, I'd turn one off for 1 or 2. Because when I noticed a dip in performance, I'd just literally rotate through with slightly different images. So that's been running, or that had been running. I just paused it while I was doing this. We can see that in a non-sexy niche, you can get long-term cheap clicks. I mean, although this is only a small date range, 3 to 5 cent clicks, in this forex market is realistically doable. And again, it comes back to what we were saying earlier. It really doesn't matter what the market is, as long as you've got the offer and the audience right. You can get cheap clicks. Then it's not always about the cheap clicks. I'm happy to pay $20 clicks as long as you're making more than $20 back in return. That's really what it comes down to. So if you dial the audience with the offer, you will get rewarded by Facebook for being the viral. That's how they're going to reward you with the cheap pricing. And then if you can get people to then make a purchase after they've opted in, then you will make your money back tenfold, or thousandfold in this case.
Do you have kind of a range for how much you earn per lead, or?
You know what? I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to this. I know that $200 has made me around about 10,000.
Okay.
Because I'm offering high ticket products and my own products, and I don't do the affiliate thing, so it's all going in my pockets, to be selfish.
Well, it's one of those. It sounds like the numbers aren't too tight, so you're not too worried. You know, it's pretty obvious to you that they're making a profit. So you're
I mean, to be fair, even if you were doing affiliate stuff, I mean, it is realistic to expect you could break even on the front end doing CPA stuff, because again, you could do it in currencies. Most products you're going to get between 30 and 60% on commissions as an affiliate, so it is realistic to see that same $200 just providing value, building an email list and sending the usual information out. Again, you quite realistically could make, I don't know, $3,000 to $5,000 back on that, you know, using other people's products quite easily.
And now, can we jump over and I want to check out the funnel a little bit because I have a few questions about that.
Sure. So this is probably what you saw in the video already. So this is probably what most people do and most people are aware of. You know, you send traffic to a landing page, maybe goes to an offer or a thank you page. You know, and that's probably where most people stop.
And do you still like using a landing page and then the paid offer? You don't like going directly to the paid offer?
Well, to be fair, I actually mix it up. I'm not seeing any difference between sending someone to a blog, and let's just say we have the blog here with a permanent opt-in box at the top. And there's lots of templates that you can get off the shelf that'll do this, and then you've got your blog content, you know, kind of like newsletter, not newsletter, kind of news stands format. But having that big header with, you know, your email opt-in form here, I've tried sending them basically to a blog, and I'm not seeing any difference in, or nothing significant in opt-in rates. And then I've sent them straight to a very obvious and blatant squeeze page. So sending them to a blog format, you know, the news stands with a very obvious, you know, get it delivered to your inbox. There's no significant difference from my testing for the products that and the stuff that I'm doing between sending them to a landing page or sending them to a blog. So it's kind of funny. So never noticed that significant difference.
But have you actually tried sending them to the paid offer directly as well?
Sorry, you've really distracted me sending me a little text message there. You just sent me a little.
This is just a mental reminder. Well,
sorry, just with the opt-in rates, I mean, I think because I'm sending it to my own website anyway, that's probably why I'm not seeing the difference. But if you're building an email list and you're using other people's products and other people's offers, there's no question it would go straight to a landing page. But if it's going to your own assets, you're going to get the either relationship building, the content, the value, or they're going to go to a landing page or a product offer. You've got all the elements if it's going to your own business. But then if you're using other people's products, it's going to go to a landing page every time. You want to capture that lead, and then if that person doesn't make a purchase afterwards, it doesn't matter because you've got the lead. You can have a second bite of the cherry later on down the line.
And now something else that you mentioned that I really liked, if you want to kind of go through to the slides a little bit more where it shows kind of...
Yeah, sorry. So this is where pretty much most people stop. They'll do traffic to a landing page, to a paid offer, maybe send a thank you page, you know, that kind of upsell if you like. But as I've just said, you know, if they don't make the paid offer, whether it's your product or an affiliate product, then you've got the opportunity to email them back out, and that's really what it comes down to. So most people will do 1 email, 2 email, 3 emails, and kind of put them on the autoresponder. Now, I would personally get into the habit of just sending an email a day or every other day, and kind of building that relationship up, kind of like newsletter fashion. I think that's probably going to be more valuable to most people. Hey, we've got this, you know, industry news. You know, get into the habit of doing the newsletter style format. And then it doesn't matter whether you send a product out, a product sale out, or try to get a sale that day, you'll still be communicating and providing the value. You're conditioning someone to open your emails in the first place. So the way that I do it is I have, again, the landing page, the offer, the thank you page, whether they buy or they don't buy at this point. For me, it's of no consequence because I'm going to have the opportunity to promote them again at some point in the future anyway. So we would send them, again, email reminders, then we can send them to product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4, and we can pretty much cycle through back and forth through however many products that you want, whether it's your own product or whether it's an affiliate product. And that's really the cycle of things, and by having that newsletter style format where it's like, hey, industry news, this great piece of content, some great piece of article, and by the way, if you didn't see it earlier in the week, we had this great offer on XYZ product. That's your affiliate link. And it's really non-intrusive because all you really want is you want your open rates, because when that person's ready to make a purchase, then they're going to do it through your link. And that's really what it comes down to as far as I'm concerned. You provide the value first, and you will make the sale today, tomorrow, or next week at some other point. So always trying to go for the sale is probably going to do more of a disservice, just in my mind, because long term, that's what's going to get you the sale. I mean, think about your own buying habits. I mean, how often do you make an impulse purchase?
Me personally, very rarely.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're buying cookies at the checkout, sweet checkout. Well, that's what it comes down to. It's a very small percentage of people that are actually impulse buyers and impulse products. People like to read up about it, like to think about it. So if you're providing the thinking and the value and the content and the support while they're in their buying decision, then they go, okay, yeah, it might be product 4, right? I'm ready to make that purchase.
Now you also mentioned that you like to set up the offer, as we can see there on the side, the different offer numbers, but you'd like to set it up for low, medium, high ticket in one time.
Yeah, it's funny actually. The way that I do my product, firstly it's a digital product, just to give people the background. So it is effectively a newsletter. A lot of the time, I'm actually giving the stuff away, if you like, the non-premium version in the value building, the email support. So here's today's piece of content that you requested, and it might be that product 1 is the low ticket pricing. You might pay $5, $10, $15, $20 product, but it's a subscription. But they might not see that as that's worth their time. So what I'm trying to do by cycling through different pricing, and it is technically the same product, but it's presented and it's delivered in vastly different ways. So trying to find that person's commitment points, because it might be that person wants the high ticket products because he sees the value in it, because it's a high ticket product and because it's being delivered to him in a personal one-to-one environment. That's probably what's going to tip him over to pay a few $1,000s for what other people are getting, a lower, not necessarily a lower quality version, but they're just getting essentially a newsletter version. It's delivered, here it is, no frills, but it's still a premium version. And it's just trying to find that person's commitment level with the subscription type of offer, and that's essentially what's going on here. You're just trying to find the low, medium, high ticket price points for similar products.
And now, how did you? So you just kind of repurposed the delivery a bit different and kind of repackaged it a bit different?
Essentially, yeah, that is exactly it. I mean, we hear a lot about repurposed and rebranding and all the rest of it, and how to actually repurpose the same product. I mean, I've sold the same products for more than 10 years, and it's delivered in several different ways. I wasn't the first, but I was certainly the second person to be using streaming video in my industry on the internet many years ago. So that gave me the edge back then. So what's going to give me the edge today? Everyone does video. So what can I do? Can I deliver that in a podcast? Can they get it on via newsletter, via email? Everyone delivers it via video or newsletter. So how about we just put a little bit of a small price tag on it, make it a little bit special? How can we get the edge on what everyone else is doing? What's going to put us one step in front of the next person? If the next person is delivering a newsletter every day about a particular product, well, what can we do to make it better? How about we go give them that newsletter for free, and we give them something else and something else and something else. What can we do to make what we're doing stand out in front of the next person? That's really what we're trying to do. And sometimes just having it at different price points puts you ahead of the other person. Oh, well, if it's £1,200, then it must be worth it. There's lots of people. It sounds a crazy thought process, but lots of people think like that.
Yeah.
But as long as the content is worth that much, then you can price it at that point. And it's the same product effectively as the $10 product. One's delivered in email, the other one, they're going to get delivered in a box set DVD course through the front door. That's really what it comes down to.
And now, just to give some people some ideas, I don't know if you've done this personally, but just throwing it out there. Obviously, you can take these, once you get someone in a lander, you get these email addresses. You can use that as a custom audience. Bad word. See, when you actually have your own subscribers, when you have email lists and
That's
home lists of customers.
Yeah, to be fair, that you've hit the nail on the head there. Perhaps what wasn't too clear is one of these custom audiences here. Where is it? So custom audience. Actually, no, one of them is. I'm sure I named it. One of those custom audiences. Oh, there we go. It's there. So that's what that one is. So that's the custom audiences there. So you've got email custom audience. So
you're trying to get them to sign up again, or what are you trying to?
No, to be fair, this was actually an old email list, a slightly different product. Again, the purpose of this was to kind of test out what type of person, how was that person or that email list built. So this email list was effectively built on one type of product. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, well, does this person like another type of product in the same market? Because it's like internet marketing. There's offline, there's online, there's affiliate marketing, there's Amazon marketing, there's Pinterest marketing, there's Facebook marketing, there's paid Facebook marketing, there's fan page only stuff. It's still all internet marketing. You're still doing exactly the same thing. You're trying to drive traffic from a landing page to sell them something or get them to download something. You're still doing the same thing, but you're doing it from and with different tools. So, in financial trading, it's the same thing. They're all interested in financial trading, but some want to do it with Forex, some want to do it with stock market, US stock market, European stock market, emerging markets. You get the idea. It's the same product, but it's delivered in a different context. So the Forex market, it's a low value. To be fair, it's the arse end of the market. Whereas we go straight into US stocks, it's a big market, it's a high-end market. All of a sudden, it's a premium product. They'll pay significantly more to know how to trade the US stocks compared to foreign exchange.
Gotcha. So very good point. So I kind of want to close out here with two more questions just to see if you've done them. Have you used lookalike audiences at all, or with this strategy?
That's what I'm playing around at the moment. So after this study was done, it was basically, okay, now I know what type of person. So going back to Facebook's version of things. So one custom audience, you can see bonds, absolutely bond, and paying literally $5 per conversion there. So it doesn't always work. I got 3 out of 4 ads. I was actually expecting just one of these to work, but I was actually quite surprised that 4 of them actually did okay. So the next stage now in the evolution of custom audiences and the way that Facebook wants us to do, because we can't just scrape anyone's audience anymore. So now that I know the email list that I have, they're still very responsive. Some of them are opting in again, and some of them are buying a slightly different product. And now you're quite right. I'm going to take that audience that I know works, and I'm going to go, okay, Facebook, find me a lookalike audience. Find me a lookalike audience that has similar data points, similar, likes, interests. Find them in the UK. Find them in Canada. Find them in America. Find them in this state even.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a big enough email list, you can break it down by, potentially, different areas. So that's what I'm doing now. What has also happened recently, and I don't know if it's a new feature, but it's new for me in the last literally 48 hours. Facebook have said, okay, well, you can upload your own audience and your own user ID, but they've now said, okay, well, if you've got a fan page, you can find a lookalike audience from your existing fan page. I think that's awesome.
Funny you say that. So
I nearly fell off my chair when I saw that. I thought,
that's actually, I'm writing about that later today, which, and before I actually had a post on the blog before, the kind of custom audiences had the problems that they and it was hacking lookalike audiences. So I basically told you, hey, take your own Facebook fan page, scrape it, and then you can create a lookalike audience for your fans. But
Yeah.
you know, now they've given you the option for fans. I know app installs, and
Well, you can do the lookalike audience from retargeting pixels as well, and it's just all these awesome things just appeared overnight. They've literally taken it in one hand and said, okay, we don't want you to do this anymore, but they're gonna go, but we're gonna give you all these great things as well.
yeah,
We've taken it in one hand. For a week, everyone was literally crying about, oh, we can't do this and we can't do that. We're not supposed to. They're just coming down hard on everyone, but they've given us so much to kind of compensate. They really do try and look after you, and I can only see good things coming from this. And already we're starting to see the fruits of what they're trying to do and just to make it better. I mean, you can drop a cookie on someone and find a lookalike person. So if they've done an action that you like, if they've clicked on, you want to find certain people that click on certain offers, and you can find a lookalike audience for that. How awesome is that? or your conversion pixel. I mean, we've always said upload your buy list from your email, but now how we can cookie those people as well and find the lookalikes. All these little behaviors just add up to some awesome potential.
And have you used
Sorry,
this strategy?
I went all nerd for a moment there in my excitement.
Have you used website custom audiences at all, or no?
Yeah,
with this strategy, or
well, to be fair, on the next portion of the slide, I didn't know if we'd have time for this, but all these little stars, pink things, these represent retargeting pixels. I put a retargeting pixel on everything. Everything that you can put one on, it goes on, because I'm gonna essentially.
I think we'll stop it there then. Yeah. We'll leave that one open maybe for the next one.
That's a 3-hour lecture in itself.
I know. Retargeting is a very deep subject in itself.
Yeah, but basically, even if you don't think or you don't know what you're doing with them, just try and with Facebook, you don't have a generic retargeting list. You do one that's site-wide, but literally just put individual links on the retargeting pixel. It lets you set a retargeting pixel for pages, individual pages. Do 1 pixel per page or 1 list per page that you want interesting, and just build your page by page retarget list, because you can include them, you can exclude them. It's just that the possibilities with retargeting is just awesome. And to be fair, with the common man, as it were, the man on the street that is learning this, we're 2 years behind. I was selling this service, if you like. I was selling retargeting as advertising to news websites, so they have certain advertising that's at a premium. They've only got so much space on the website, so we were cooking websites and selling the retargeting lists for advertising. That's really what we were doing. And that's it's been around for a while, but that strategy was just blowing people's heads off. All of a sudden that they could sell the same traffic 20 times over to 50 new advertisers, and no one would know anything about it, at no degradation to the quality of their brand. Awesome stuff. So the things you can do with this, yeah, let's draw a line there, because I'm excited already.
Well, what we could do is, if you want, we could go into it for around 10 minutes, and I could take this interview and kind of put it into a part 1, part 2 format. Or we can just wait and jump back in at a different time and dive into it. I know time-wise you're over there in the UK and it's getting later.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. I've started, so I'll finish now, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean,
you can't just leave it half said now. No, to be fair, retargeting then. The quick tutorial in it is, don't bracket everything under a retargeting. So basically, you'd have a retargeting pixel, and it would do the whole entire website. What I'm saying is if you put 1 pixel goes on. I want to get my little pointer. There we go. Okay, so put 1 pixel. So you're building 1 cookie list that is just for the landing page, and then you're building 1 cookie list that is just for the offer page. And again, I think the best way of thinking about it in this context is think about your retargeting pixel, your cookies. Think about them like an email list. So you've got an email list for literally every action that is clickable. So now if we want to bring the traffic back to the landing page, we can do. If we want to bring back the traffic to the paid offer page, that we can do. Now, if we're going to include all the traffic to the paid offer, we want to exclude the landing page. They've already seen that bit, so we can bring everyone to exactly the right points. Interestingly, you can't do it with Facebook yet. There's a little bit of a workaround. It's a little bit geeky. I'll just leave it for the moment, but no, it can be done. But you can basically bridge the click to a page on your email. So rather than send them straight to whatever offer, like an affiliate offer, for example, but you can bridge the click that automatically redirects and cookie other people's affiliate offers. So then you can send them back to, affiliate offer number 1 whenever you want, and build your cookie lists off other people's affiliate promotions effectively. So might be a little bit too geeky for most people, and then if you get it, that's great. If not,
I think we actually might have a plugin coming along. I don't know if it's going to be free or paid, and I don't exactly know how deep we're going to go with it, but I do know we have something in the works coming along for retargeting as well.
That's awesome. I mean, if you can have that sort of the technical stuff set up, because the way that I do it, I basically create what is effectively a landing page just for cookies. So it automatically redirects. So I know that page is just for one clickable action, and then I can send them wherever I want. That's really what it comes down to.
And it sounds like too something that just to give people the ideas. If someone sees that first paid offer and they don't subscribe, they might be one of these other buyers, as you say, the medium ticket, high ticket. So that's where website custom audience can work out pretty well, because then you can show them some of these other offers.
It can rotate through. Now, sneaky little tactic that I was going to mention with Facebook, if rather than have a lifetime cookie, and sneaky tactic number 1 is set it to say 7-day cookie, or 10-day, rather than say the 30-day cookie. So when they've clicked on the offer, so you can actually put 2 cookies. So you're doing a lifetime cookie if it's possible. Now you can't with Facebook. I think it's 30 or 90 days, isn't it, at the moment? But
I think
other platforms do offer lifetime. Yeah. Other platforms offer lifetime cookies. So you cookie them with a lifetime, but then you also but you kind of have that as your standby to the cookies. But you set a 7-day cookie. Let me just tidy this up a little bit. So you have a 7-day cookie. So for 7 days they get this offer, and then you leave it for a day, and then you send them to this offer. So basically every 7 days they get the offer, and what should happen eventually is as they're clicking from one offer to the next offer, the retargeting would automatically cycle through. So it might be that day 1 they go there, day 2 they go there, but then day 3 they're going there. But if you're setting, say, a 7-day cookie, the retargeting is going to cycle through every 7 days as well. And that'll happen automatically because they go from one list to the next list automatically because the way that you've set the retargeting up. I hope I've explained that right.
I think
you've got the abbreviated version.
So you're saying each day they're getting a different offer for that 7-day period, and then after 7 days they're. I suppose you could marry it up. So day 1 you're going to email them to that offer. Day 2 you'll email them to that offer. Day 3 you'll email them to that offer. But you're also you're hitting them with a retargeting pixel as well. So essentially what's going to happen? So if you say set a 7-day. Just as an example, if you set, say, a 7-day retargeting pixel, so day 1, they're going to get a 7-day pixel there. Well, that's now 6 days. That will expire in 6 days. So they get a 7-day here. That's going to expire in 6 days. That's going to expire in 5 days. So they're going to see this offer, potentially for 7 days. And it takes a while for it to cycle through because they've got to kind of siphon through all the offers. But eventually what will happen is that the retargeting will cycle through because they're going to different offers at different times. The retargeting is going to show them at different times, so they will see perhaps a different offer every 4 days or 5 days. It depends on what they're doing on the internet as well, because it's obviously dependent on their surfing habits. But what should happen is it should cycle through offer 1, retargeting, offer 2, a couple of days later, they're going to get that instead.
and then with every new offer that they see, they're going to see a different retargeting offer effectively. And that should happen on autopilot. So it's just the way it works. When you start fleshing out big offers, or sorry, long offers, with several different products, then eventually it will just your email list will effectively be on autoresponder, but then you'll also have effectively like an autoresponder for retargeting. It will just cycle through different offers for different people, depending on what action and where they are in the sales funnel. I mean, ideally they should go back to the right offer, but eventually it'll just, no one's perfect, but eventually it'll just cycle through, and you'll get one offer on one day, one offer on another day, and every 7 days it should cycle back to the beginning. That's the theory behind it. In reality, it doesn't quite work that way, but that's the logic behind the process. So you've kind of got
part of the simple idea is
autoresponder. So you don't have to turn it on and off, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, is that you can, once you set it up, it can just run, and you have the pixel set up correctly.
Yeah, because the short-term nature of the way that the pixels void themselves, then it will just cycle through. But you've also got the master list, so you can show the master list, exclude pixels 1, 2, and 3, and show them number 4.
I do want to make a quick note just for anyone that might be listening to this or watching this that hasn't done retargeting. Is one of the biggest things you need to make sure that you do when you're doing retargeting that you don't have to worry about as much with other ads, or most marketers don't, is you have to make sure that you are excluding people and that you are burning people. So if someone signs into your landing page free offer, you don't want to be still promoting say a landing page to them. They've already opted in. Or if someone has bought one of these paid offers, maybe you want to be upselling them, but you don't want to be showing them that same paid offer again. And I would assume that's why you have the thank you page up there.
Yeah, I think we've got a little bit overexcited with the possibilities that you could do with the retargeting. Yeah, I think that, to be fair, that's a very important point. And the way that you want to, again, another reason why you want to have this and retarget every page, and you will end up with massive lists. So I would keep a separate physical diary or spreadsheet of what you're doing, so you can keep track of all these things, because you're going to end up with potentially hundreds of cookie lists. But if you're sending people to the landing page, you're absolutely right. That builds cookie list number 1. So if they go to the paid offer and they make the purchase, let's just say that they've paid and they go to a different landing page. This is obviously originally it was a simplified flow chart, but they're going to go to the paid landing page, because they've made the purchase. So because they've made that purchase, you're never going to show them that. Ideally, you'd never want to show them that again. It's just a waste of money. So if they've not done that, then you want to include the landing page for this pixel, but exclude all your buyers. They don't need to go into the beginning of the funnel again. I think this is pretty much where the magic of the retargeting, really, comes into its own. You've already opted in, but they've not taken you up on your paid offer. So on your retargeting, you bring them straight back to this page. Offer number 1. Did you see our offer number 1 yet? Have you seen it? It's a good offer. And if they've made the purchase, then you need to exclude, because you don't have to include the list in retargeting. You can exclude it. So now that they've had offer 1 and they've made that purchase, I only want to show those people who have made the purchase over here. I only want to show them these 3 offers. So now when the retargeting for these 3 is taking effect, I'm going to exclude that list, but I'm going to include it on the, I'm going to include those 3 lists, but exclude that list, because they're not going to see that product anymore. And then when they make that purchase, that's when you exclude that list, so you're only going to show those people, those 2 products.
You just want to look at it like you're moving them through the funnel, and you want to make sure that once they get to a certain point in the funnel, everything before it they're no longer seeing. So once they opt in, they should no longer be seeing landing page. Once they see offer 1, anything behind that they should no longer be seeing, including offer 1. And you're trying to get them to offer 2, offer 3, offer 4, so on. So in the same regard, if someone buys your major upsell, then you don't want to be showing them any of these offers. You might be showing them some cross promotions or new offers. But
to be fair, I mean, you can do what I was doing for a wee while. send them to an external offer. Why don't you, you don't have to send them to your offer. For those people who are doing solo emails and they sell and rent their email list, so they might buy, rent their email list. They're going to sell 500 clicks. Well, now they can also sell 500 retargeting ads for a week as an upsell. Why don't people do that? So now they're selling not only email clicks, but they're selling retargeting. And they can sell the retargeting to several people at the same time, which is awesome. So now they all of a sudden become more productive. So just another way of doing it. And then they can exclude competitors' offers as well. So yeah, I mean, the point is, come back to the original. You would include cookie lists to one page. I think you can bring them back into the funnel at the point where they left it, and then move them on to the next part of the process of where you want them to go next. So that's what retargeting allows you to do. Whereas the old way, people, you would bring them into the landing page, you'd get their email, and you'd have to send them, pretty much right to the beginning of where you wanted the entire process, unless you were, an expert at what you were doing and you could segment the list and you were monitoring who was opening what, and you've got all the same detailed problems as you might experience. But retargeting makes that process significantly simpler because you can just bring them back to the part of the process where they left. Okay, so they've seen offer 2, they've not purchased, so you're only ever going to show them offer 2 adverts until they've had that chance, and then you move them on to the next process. Whereas with email, you send them the email, and it's like, did they click it? Did they purchase? Are you tracking at that level? Most people don't. Whereas with retargeting, you can kind of get away with that because it allows you to bring them back to the point that you want to bring them.
Yeah, and if for people that are more unfamiliar with retargeting, a more simple way to think about it is it's the same way that you might have an email list.
Absolutely, yeah. We said that
segmenting your list. You have your people who have opted in. You have your low ticket buyers. You have your high ticket buyers. You're just segmenting it, and it's working the same way. You just want to make sure that you take note of that and do that within retargeting, because you're gonna piss people off if you're trying to sell them something they're a bot and you're wasting your money. So you just want to make sure.
Keep a spreadsheet. I think doing a map like this, I always do one of these. I typically, I'm old-fashioned. I hand draw these things. So I sit down with a notepad, and I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to send Facebook. I'm going to build a landing page. I'll just make a note. I want to do retargeting. I want to include and exclude certain people onto this email. And I physically hand draw it out. I mean, I can show you, almost literally hand-drawn notepads just full of these funnels of just testing things out. Okay, where do I want to, the next person to go? Email 1's going to send them to offer 2. Email 3's also going to go there for whatever weird reason I've decided. This is how I'm doing it. So I'm mapping this out, straight away, and sitting down and just trying to figure out, okay, what do I want my customer to do, and what's going to be beneficial for that to actually happen. But yeah, sit down, map it out. If you're doing it on spreadsheets is your thing, do it on spreadsheets. But me personally, I'm quite visual, which is why we've got this very childlike picture. I honestly sit down with a notepad and go, okay, right, this is the landing page. I'm going to go to offer number 1. It's this, that, and the other. I'm going to have 4 emails that go to that offer, and then I'm going to cycle through to offer 2. I'm figuring out exactly what I'm going to do. And if you can do that, and it doesn't have to be a work of art, but it just keep the whole process straight in your mind, because when you start thinking about all the possible things you could do, especially when you're brand new, you will get confused. I mean, I certainly confused the hell out of myself so many times when I was trying to figure all this stuff out. But sitting down with a pen and paper and just work out what you want that person to do, it will save you hours and hours of heartache and frustration.
And just, once again, to bring it back, because you got to always think about, who might be watching this. So the people that are watching this, if you haven't got started with Facebook ads, you don't need to get crazy. You don't need to worry about,
That's all you need.
Targeting. Exactly.
Honestly, that's all you need. To be fair, what I do, and it's because I'm inherently a lazy person, that's all I start with. In fact, to be fair, it might be fair to say that I actually take that out. I start off with, I probably do this backwards. It's not the best way of doing this, but whenever I'm building something new, I'm testing something out, That's what I start with. I'm going to send traffic to a landing page. They're going to go to a thank you page, and I'm going to go, okay, right. So that's now, when that gets opt-in rates, and I'm seeing, like now, I'm seeing 30% opt-in rates. They're the stats that we've just seen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm then going to do, I'm going to add in paid offer. That's what I've just done. Add in paid offer. Then the next thing I'm going to do is go, okay, right. I'm going to add in 2 to 3 emails. So when I've got that first email opt-in, that's when I'll write email number 1. So this process map, it's not just for figuring out what you want that person to do next. It's also letting me know, okay, right, I've got email number 1 is in my system. Shit, I've got to go and write email number 1 now. So it kind of forces you to do the next thing in the sequence. In day 2, you can write email 2. So you don't have to write 500 emails on day 1. Because if you were to wait for that, you would never get this thing done. So get the landing page.
Like you said,
the landing page, if
you can't have your ads convert, right here, then
it's pointless spending 3 weeks trying to flesh out a system.
But if you are wondering, hey, how are some of these people getting these ridiculous ROIs? It's because they take something like this, they keep it simple, they keep it basic, they get it to convert or to break even, at this level, and that's when you start adding in the other emails, the other offers, the retargeting, and that's where you can really take the funnel deeper and do amazing stuff.
Start with this. If you're brand new, you've got no products, send them to affiliates. So that's affiliates. So that's an affiliate offer. Products. If you just want to build a list and you're not sure what you're selling yet, but you know it's going to be in, say, health, send them to a health article. It doesn't have to be yours. Send them to, Dr. whatever it is, Dr. Zhivago's best tips on how to live healthy. I don't know. Whatever you found on the internet. But start off with this. The point is, I think you quite rightly said, start with something. It doesn't matter what it is. Just start. Because not doing anything will not make you any money whatsoever. But doing something at least gives you the possibility of making money somewhere. And it's so many cliches, but just start. I mean, I start everything. Just get a landing page up there, and then just figure out what to do afterwards. Just so you've got traffic running with a couple of dollars a day. You can see where the habit started. A couple of dollars a day. Get it to a landing page. This is the offer. If no one's opted in and you're running traffic, there's a disconnect between the traffic and the offer. So you know that you don't have to figure out what you're going to sell afterwards because no one's opted into your email list in the first place. So figure out what's wrong. Is it the advert? Is it the offer? And then when you've got that first opt-in, then you can figure out what you're going to send them on the email list.
And
that's when you
something interesting that I just thought of here too.
That's what this funnel, just to kind of follow the process on, it starts off with that, and then eventually it builds out with emails. Then you add a second offer, a third offer, a fourth offer, a fifth offer. And that might be 6, 7, 8, 2 months away. And then eventually you're like, okay, we've got a whole system here that works. We've got 4 products. Okay, I'll add in retargeting to make the whole process more efficient. Then I'll add in retargeting on the emails, and then on the offers, and then on something else. You build this out eventually, but it always is going to start off with whatever you're doing. It's going to start off with that landing page to collect the contact information. So, best advice.
An interesting idea too is when you're first building, because you might create. We talk about selling people what they want. So a beneficial way you could use affiliate products is if you don't have your own products and you're building that initial traffic with the landing page, you can use those landing page opt-ins, people that say they're interested in health, right? So I'm going to use, this will be the quick example. You have a bunch of people that are interested and opted in just health tips. You can use the affiliate offers to find out, all right, are people looking for how to lose fat? Are they looking for supplements? Are they looking for how to gain muscle? Are they looking for, maybe how to have more energy in the day? And you can use these different offers and find out what people are kind of moving towards and what does better. And then you go, okay, now I know what I need to create my own product.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's such the biggest piece of throwaway best advice that you could give that no one pays attention to. But, you've got to start off the landing page. Instead of sending them to the thank you page, send them to some viral article that you found, or send them to an affiliate product. If you're seeing that actually, 15% of the traffic that you're sending to the from the landing page to the affiliates, they're buying that. Well, you know that that's you've got the traffic, you've got the offer for your landing page, the affiliate product is kick-ass. So you're quite right, could you create your own version of it? Or pay someone to make it? Or, if they're on ClickBank, lots of people want an exit plan, is how it's turned. See, again, it's not a real-world business, an exit plan. It might be that affiliate, wants to get out of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Could you approach them with an offer to buy their business?
Or too, and this is where there's always different opportunities. Maybe you don't like creating products. You can also approach them directly and kind of be more of a traffic manager and say, hey, I'm really good at these first steps. You're good at this other step. Let's partner up and let's, make this thing work.
You just touched on something. I've set this funnel up 6 times this year for other businesses. So you dial this in. You dial this, just that basic thing in. You get a boatload of statistics, and this is just for a couple of days, just on this little trial thing. But you get, to be fair, you saw the stats there. You get 3,500 clicks in a month at 5 cents a click, and you show that to a business. They will go, how much do you want to do the same for me? That's really what you can start. You go to big. We're not talking about offline stuff. We're not talking about local here. We're not talking like $50 budgets. You go to a business that is looking for international traffic. This is why I love the big niches. It's foreign exchange. It's global. You've got a company that possibly wants 10,000 visitors from Germany. You can say, well, I've got a system that will work perfectly. You just change the language on the landing page, and now you just target Germany, and now all of a sudden you've got a proven sales funnel, fleshed out with loads of products that you can get converted into German, and that client is going to pay for you to build your business and then set it up for him. Let's test it out, and it's the same product. They will pay you a lot of money just to set up a landing page, put their business on the paid offer with a thank you page and some retargeting. Realistically, this is probably, with non-technical skills like me, this probably takes, 3 to 5 hours, just to sketch it out, to figure out what they want on their landing page, because it's got to be relevant to their business. So what you're doing is taking, your headline off and putting their headline in for their business. You play around with it for a couple of hours, then you play around with it for a couple of days because you're going to send traffic to it. You're just trying to kind of optimize the traffic, the same traffic that you've already dialed in for their offer. So a few tweaks and adjustments. That'll take you about 3 days to kind of set up, play around with, dick around with, make sure it's okay. And you can charge $5,000 for that, for what really is a couple of hours work, realistically. And you're kind of waiting for the traffic to come to the sales funnel. You get those initial statistics, and you can start commanding prices. Everyone talks about a couple $100 a month. We're talking like 1,200, 500. Sorry, 12,000. My apologies. I've got so many figures going through my head for different products. But 1,200 just to sit down and talk to you about this as a consult. This is how you set it up. You sit down for a day and you just say, you build out. This is the sales funnel. There's the funnel. Mr. Business Owner, that's what you need. 1,200. An hour-long consultation for £1,200. Well, £1,200 is what, $2,500?
I forget the exact exchange rate, but the point is you can definitely make a nice.
You can sell this product in a multitude of different ways. So instead of thinking affiliate offers for the offliners out there, there's a 1,200, and then to manage it for them, you can just say, okay, well, give me 5,000 to consult, to work with your team to set it up, to make sure it's all working. And you can pay them the same again every month for as long as you want me to keep managing it for you, and they'll do that. And really, it's just a couple of hours work, and they will happily bite your hand off. For that privilege.
So just to bring it back, there's a few different options you can go with this. So don't let this freak you out. If you don't like, if you're afraid to create your own offer, your own product, that's fine. If you just understand the traffic managing aspect to it,
if you can do
this, a lot with it. And if you already have your own offer, now you've seen easy ways that you can start to grow it into some different ways, and then you can also implement retargeting. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of different ways that anyone can use this.
Spelled that wrong, but yeah, management.
All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up. This was awesome. I appreciate it a lot, Phil. I know it's getting pretty late over there in the UK.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. You know, I told you kind of in the green room, you want to get going. I've done a lot. I've done most of it. I wouldn't say I'm the expert in everything, but I've done most jobs. There's certain things that I do consider myself an expert in, but no matter what business you're in, whether it's a physical business and you've got a shop on the high street, it all starts off with traffic. You've got the front door. What your paid offer is the end of the aisle thing, the first thing that you see when you walk into Walmart. Your thank you is the checkout. It's the same bloody business, whether it's a physical, whatever business you're in, whether you're buying shoes on the high street or it's a digital business. This is the customer walk. When you're walking around the shop, you've got the bread aisle, we've got the milk aisle, it's the same process. What do you want your customer to do next? This is just a digital version. If that helps you visualize what you need to do to get your business running in the digital world, think about it as a shop. Aisle number 1, milk. Aisle number 2, we want, something else. Aisle number 3, I don't know, Walmart. You've got guns in the Walmart. I don't know. whatever you're buying there. But this is the customer walk. This is the digital equivalent of you walking around doing your weekly shop. So what do people buy in their digital weekly shop? How to lose weight, how to make more money, how to sort the finances out, how to get more out of the 401ks. Maybe you want to do some investments for college funds. I don't know. Provide it for them. But that's their weekly shop. If you can do that digitally for them, then sure, that's going to be, provide them what they want. You can do it generally with, like some of the big news websites, or you can do it specifically right down to the niche, very, very targeted and very focused. But it's the same thing. It's exactly the same process when you walk around the shop, or virtually you're walking around the internet trying to find what you're trying to purchase.
So once again, thanks a lot, Phil. I'm going to wrap this up, and have a good one over there, all right?
It's an absolute pleasure. Hopefully it was of use to anyone watching. But I suppose if you've got questions, I've typically got a lot of time for people who just want to know more. I'll always chew the fat with someone about this. I believe that education should be free. So if this has helped educate some of you and you want to know a little bit more, please feel free to pass on my details, and I'll gladly talk at someone for an hour.
Sounds good. All right, take care, Phil.
Take care. Cheerio.